Riley's fingers were stained green from stem thorns, her oversized vintage band tee spotted with pollen. Black cargo pants hung loose on her frame, too loose, because groceries had become optional when rent wasn't. The wedding venue smelled like old money and white roses, a historic mansion with chandeliers that probably cost more than her car. She was arranging the bridal suite centerpiece when the door crashed open. A woman in a cream silk robe stumbled in, mascara already running. The bride. Behind her, bridesmaids in matching pink sets scattered like startled birds. "I can't marry him." Riley froze, baby's breath clutched in her dirt-stained hands. "Liz, you're spiraling," one bridesmaid said. "No." The bride's voice cracked. "No, I'm finally seeing clearly." Riley kept her head down, kept working. Not her circus, not her drama. She needed this $400 check to clear by Monday, or she'd be sleeping in her Honda again. "Everyone out." A male voice, sharp as broken glass. "Give her space." The bridesmaids fled. Riley tried to follow. "Not you." She turned. A man stood in the doorway and the air shifted. Expensive black suit, tailored so perfectly it looked painted on. Dark hair pushed back like he'd been running his hands through it for hours. But it was his eyes that stopped her, dark and haunted, ringed with the kind of exhaustion that comes from not sleeping in weeks. He looked like money and misery had a baby. "I need you to fix her face," he said, gesturing to the crying bride. "Whatever it takes. I'm the florist, not a makeup artist. I don't care what you are. I'm paying you double, triple." Riley's stomach growled, a sound that echoed in the huge room. His eyes flicked to her, something shifting in his expression. "When did you last eat?" "That's none of your business. Everything here is my business." He stepped closer. "I'm Dante Ashford. This is my sister's wedding. My venue. My problem to solve." The bride, Liz, laughed bitterly. "Your problem? I'm not a quarterly report, Dante." "Liz, please. Did you know?" The bride turned on him, eyes wild. "Did you know Marcus was texting his ex the whole time we were planning this?" Silence dropped like a stone. Dante's jaw clenched. "What?" "I saw the messages this morning, while I was getting dressed to marry him." Liz crumpled onto the velvet settee. "I'm such an idiot." Riley watched Dante's hands curl into fists, watched something dangerous flash across his face. Then he pulled out his phone, typed something, and pocketed it. "He won't make it to the altar." "What does that mean?" Riley asked. Dante's eyes met hers, and she saw something cold there, something calculated. "It means I handle family problems." A phone buzzed. Dante glanced at it, and his face went corpse white. "No." The word barely left his mouth. "What?" Liz stood. "What is it?" He looked at Riley, really looked at her, like he was seeing her for the first time. "What's your last name?" "Why?" "Answer me." "Chen. Riley Chen." The phone slipped from his hand, clattered on the marble floor. On the screen, Riley caught a glimpse of a news article, a photo of a collapsed apartment building, a list of names. Her building. Her address. From 3 years ago. "You lived on Maple Street," Dante whispered. "Building C." Ice flooded Riley's veins. "How do you know that?" "Because I'm the reason it fell." The wedding venue disappeared. Riley was back in that night, sirens screaming, dust choking the air, her mom's hand going limp in hers. "You need to sit down." Dante reached for her. She jerked back. "Don't touch me." "Riley." His voice cracked on her name. "My mom died in that building." The words tasted like ash. "My little brother. He was 7. Liz gasped. "Dante, what is she talking about?" 3 years ago, I was the city's building inspector." Dante's eyes never left Riley's face. "I signed off on that property. I approved it as structurally sound. But it wasn't." Riley's hands were shaking. The flowers scattered across the floor, white petals on white marble like snow. "No." His voice was hollow. "Someone paid me to falsify the report. A lot of money. Enough to save my family's company from bankruptcy." The room spun. Riley grabbed the back of a chair, her fingers white-knuckled. "I didn't know it would collapse," Dante continued. "I told myself it was a paperwork thing, a technicality. But ignorance isn't innocence. 14 people died. Riley's voice was a whisper that cut like a scream. 14. I know. I memorized every name. Every face. He pulled out his phone again, showed her. Photos. Obituaries. Her mom's face stared back at her. Little Ethan's school picture. Why? The word ripped from her throat. Why keep these? Because I don't get to forget. I don't get peace. Good. Riley stepped forward, close enough to see the shadows under his eyes, the way his hands trembled. You should suffer. I turned myself in 6 months after. But the person who paid me had connections. The case got buried. I got community service. A fine I could afford. His laugh was broken. Justice is for people who can't afford lawyers. Liz sank onto the settee, her wedding forgotten. Dante, why didn't you tell me? Because I'm a coward. He looked at his sister. Because I've been trying to atone by fixing everything for everyone else. Your wedding. The company. Dad's medical bills. Like enough good deeds will balance the scale. They won't. Riley's voice was steel. Nothing balances 14 lives. I know. Then why are you still here? Why aren't you in prison? Because the system is broken. Because I have money and connections and a lawyer who's better at his job than I deserve. Dante's eyes were wet. Because apparently karma works slow. Riley turned to leave. She couldn't breathe in here, couldn't think. Wait. Dante grabbed her wrist. She spun, and the slap echoed through the room like a gunshot. His head snapped to the side, a red mark blooming on his cheek. You don't get to touch me. You don't get to ask me for anything. He nodded, hand dropping. I know. But I need to tell you something else. I don't want to hear it. The person who paid me off. They're still out there. Still doing it. Dante's eyes met hers. I've been investigating for 3 years. Gathering evidence. I'm close to exposing them. So you can feel better about yourself? So no one else dies. His voice was quiet. I have files. Documents. Recordings. Everything needed to bring them down. But I need help. Riley laughed, harsh and bitter. You want me to help you? No. I want you to be safe. He pulled an envelope from his jacket, held it out. This is everything I have on the person responsible. If something happens to me, someone needs to know. Why me? Because you have every reason to want the truth. And because I trust you more than I trust myself. The envelope hung between them. Riley stared at it, at him, at the wreckage of this moment. She took it. This doesn't mean I forgive you. I don't want forgiveness. I want you alive when they figure out I'm onto them. A crash from downstairs. Shouting. Dante's phone buzzed with a single text. They're here. Dante shoved Riley toward the back exit, his hand on her lower back, urgent but not rough. His sister Liz stood frozen in her cream silk robe, eyes wide. Service stairs. Now. Dante's voice was military sharp. What's happening? Riley clutched the envelope against her chest. Footsteps thundered up the main staircase. Men's voices, harsh and commanding. They know I have the files. Dante pulled a key from his pocket, thrust it at Riley. Black Range Rover in the back lot. License plate starts with 7XK. Get in and drive. I'm not leaving you. You have to. Dante. Liz grabbed his arm. Who are these people? The same ones who paid me 3 years ago. Vincent Chen's development company. Riley's blood turned to ice. Chen? That's my last name. I know. Dante's eyes were dark with something like grief. Your uncle owns half the city's construction permits. He's the one who paid me to sign off on that building. The room tilted. No. Uncle Vincent wouldn't. He cut corners on 17 buildings. Yours was just the one that fell. Dante's jaw clenched. I'm sorry. The door burst open. 3 men in suits, but suits that looked wrong, too tight across the shoulders, bulges under the arms. The lead one smiled, and it was a smile Riley recognized from family dinners, from Christmas mornings. Uncle Vincent. He wore a charcoal Tom Ford suit, silver cufflinks catching the light. Distinguished. Successful. A man who'd paid for her mom's funeral. Riley, sweetheart. His voice was warm honey. You shouldn't be here. She couldn't speak. Couldn't move. This is between me and Mr. Ashford. Vincent's eyes shifted to Dante, went cold. You've been a busy boy, haven't you? I have evidence, Dante said. Recordings. Bank transfers. Everything. Had evidence. Vincent pulled out a tablet, tapped it. Security footage played, showing Dante's office, men in masks ransacking it, leaving with boxes. Unfortunate break-in this morning. Terrible what's happening to this city's crime rate. Dante's face went white. That was my insurance. Was. Vincent smiled. Now, the only loose end is you. One of the men pulled out a gun, casual as checking his phone. Riley stepped between them. No. Riley, move. Dante's hand on her shoulder, trying to pull her back. Uncle Vincent, please. Her voice shook. He was trying to make this right. By ruining me? By destroying everything I built. Vincent's mask slipped, showing something ugly underneath. Your mother would be ashamed. My mother is dead because of you. The words hung in the air like smoke. Vincent's expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. Acknowledgement. Guilt, maybe. Or just annoyance at being called out. Collateral damage, he said softly. I loved my sister, Riley. But business is business. Riley's world shattered. Again. Dante moved fast, grabbing a heavy vase, hurling it at the gunman. Glass exploded. People screamed. He grabbed Riley's hand and ran. They burst through the service door, down the narrow stairs, Dante pulling her forward. Behind them, footsteps, shouts. A gunshot cracked, plaster exploding from the wall by Riley's head. Go, go, go. They hit the ground floor, sprinted through the service kitchen. Staff scattered. Out the back door into blinding sunlight, the parking lot shimmering with heat. The black Range Rover sat 30 feet away. Dante pressed the key fob. Lights flashed. Another gunshot, closer. The side mirror exploded. They dove into the car. Dante gunned it before Riley even had her door closed. Tires screamed. The mansion shrank in the rearview mirror. Where are we going? Riley's hands wouldn't stop shaking. Somewhere safe. There's nowhere safe. He owns this city. I know a place. Dante's knuckles were white on the steering wheel. Off-grid. No cameras. No records. Riley looked at him, really looked. His expensive suit was torn at the shoulder. Blood seeped through his white shirt from where he'd caught his arm on something sharp during their escape. His perfect hair was wrecked, falling into his eyes. Why didn't you tell me about my uncle? Because I knew you wouldn't believe me. Would you have? She thought about it. About family dinners. About Vincent's hand on her shoulder at the funeral, his check for expenses, his promise to take care of her. No, she whispered. He's good at wearing masks. So was I. Dante glanced at her. I'm sorry you're in this. You put me in this 3 years ago when you signed that paper. I know. They drove in silence, the city giving way to industrial zones, then to nothing. Abandoned warehouses. Overgrown lots. The kind of place where people disappeared. Dante pulled into a garage attached to a concrete building. Killed the engine. What is this place? Somewhere I've been planning for. He got out, went to a metal cabinet, started pulling things out. Burner phones. Cash. A laptop. I knew he'd come for me eventually. Riley watched him work, this broken billionaire playing spy. You were going to run. I was going to finish this. He turned, eyes fierce. With or without the files, I can still testify. I can still burn him. He'll kill you first. Probably. Dante smiled, and it was the saddest thing Riley had ever seen. But at least I'll die doing something right. Riley's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. A photo. Liz, zip-tied to a chair, tape over her mouth, eyes wide with terror. Below it, you have 2 hours to bring me Dante Ashford. Or I find out if my niece screams like her mother did. Riley's hands shook so badly she nearly dropped the phone. Dante grabbed it, stared at the photo of his sister bound and terrified. No. The word came out broken. No, no, no. He knew you'd come for me. Riley's voice was hollow. He knew you'd protect me. So he took her instead. Dante was already moving, grabbing keys, checking the gun he'd pulled from the cabinet. Black tactical pants replaced his torn suit pants, a dark Henley instead of the blood-stained dress shirt. He looked different. Dangerous. I'm going in. His voice was ice. That's what he wants. You walk in there, he kills you both. I don't care. Riley grabbed his arm. Well, I do. He stopped, stared at her. Why? After everything I did to you. Because Liz is innocent. And because you dying doesn't bring my family back. Riley's jaw clenched. But maybe taking him down does. He has all the evidence. I have nothing. You have me. Riley pulled out her own phone, opened the recording app. And you have a confession. Understanding dawned in Dante's eyes. You want to wear a wire. I want to make him say it on tape. Admit what he did. Riley's heart hammered. He thinks I'm just his scared little niece. He won't see it coming. He'll search you. Kill you if he finds it. Then I better hide it well. Riley met his eyes. This is the only play we have. Dante's hand came up, cupped her face. His palm was warm, calloused. I can't ask you to do this. You're not asking. I'm offering. She leaned into his touch before she could stop herself. But I need you to promise me something. Anything. If this goes wrong, if he kills me, you don't trade yourself for Liz. You run. You live. You find another way to expose him. Riley. Promise me, Dante. His eyes were wet. I can't. Then we're both dead anyway. She pulled back. Your choice. Silence stretched between them, heavy with everything unsaid. Finally, Dante nodded. Okay. We do this smart. He went to the laptop, started typing. I'm uploading everything I remember to a secure server. Every detail, every transaction. If we both die, at least there's a record. Riley watched him work, this man who'd destroyed her life and was now trying to save it. Why did you really turn yourself in back then? His fingers paused on the keyboard. I saw your brother's picture in the paper. He looked like my nephew. Same gap-toothed smile. Dante's voice cracked. I couldn't sleep anymore. Couldn't look at my family without seeing theirs. That doesn't make what you did okay. I know. Nothing makes it okay. He looked at her. But I need you to understand. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just need you to know I see them. Every single day I see them. Riley's phone buzzed. Another text. 90 minutes left. The old Chen import warehouse on 5th. Come alone or she dies slow. Dante handed Riley a tiny recording device, barely bigger than a pill. This goes in your bra, left side. Against your ribs. It'll pick up everything within 10 feet. His hands were gentle as he helped her position it, clinical despite the intimacy. Riley tried to ignore the way her skin burned where his fingers brushed. If he finds this, I'm dead. If he finds this, you say I planted it. You didn't know. Dante's eyes were fierce. You blame everything on me. You play the victim. You survive. What about you? I stopped mattering 3 years ago. The warehouse was exactly what Riley expected. Concrete and shadows, shipping containers stacked like building blocks. Vincent stood in the center, hands in his pockets, looking like he was waiting for a business meeting. Liz was tied to a chair behind him, gagged but alive. 2 armed men flanked them. Riley walked in alone, heart slamming against her ribs where the recorder sat hidden. There's my girl. Vincent smiled. Where's Ashford? I left him. Knocked him out and took his car. Riley's voice shook, but she made it work for her. Made herself small, scared. Uncle Vincent, please. Let Liz go. She has nothing to do with this. She's leverage, sweetheart. Basic business. He studied her. You really left him? He killed my family. Why would I protect him? Vincent laughed. Smart girl. Always knew you had my blood. Riley's stomach turned. You paid him to falsify that inspection report. I did. No hesitation. No shame. That building was a money pit. Fixing it properly would have cost millions. This way was cheaper. People died. Acceptable losses. Vincent shrugged. This city is expensive, Riley. Sometimes corners get cut. Sometimes things collapse. That's life. That's murder. That's business. He stepped closer. Your mother understood that. Why do you think she never asked where my money came from? Don't. Riley's hands curled into fists. Don't talk about her. She was soft, just like you. But she knew the game. Vincent's smile was cruel. Who do you think reported the building defects to me in the first place? Who do you think told me it was a profitable flip? The world stopped. No, she wouldn't. She worked in city planning, sweetheart. Had access to all the reports. Made a nice commission for the tip. Vincent watched her face crumble. Of course, she didn't know I wouldn't fix it. That part was unfortunate. Riley couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. So you see, we're all guilty here. Your mother. Me. Ashford. Even you, for being naive enough to think anyone's innocent. Vincent pulled out a gun. Now, tell me where he is, or I start with the girl. The gun pointed at Liz's head. Riley opened her mouth to answer. Dante stepped out from behind a shipping container, hands raised. I'm here. No, Riley screamed. Vincent's smile widened. The hero arrives. How predictable. Vincent's gun swung toward Dante. Riley's mind raced, the recorder pressing against her ribs like a second heartbeat. You broke your promise. Riley's voice cut through the warehouse. Dante's eyes found hers. Some promises aren't worth keeping. How touching. Vincent gestured to his men. Search him. They patted Dante down, found nothing. He'd left everything behind. Came unarmed to his own execution. You're stupider than I thought, Vincent said. Or smarter. Dante straightened. That confession you just gave? About paying me off? About Riley's mother? About acceptable losses and cutting corners? Vincent's expression flickered. Every word is being recorded and uploaded in real time. Dante smiled, cold and sharp. To 3 different news stations, the FBI, and a dozen lawyers who hate you as much as I do. You're bluffing. Am I? Dante's eyes slid to Riley. Check her phone. The one in her jacket pocket. Vincent grabbed Riley, yanked out her phone. The screen showed an active live stream. Hundreds of viewers. Thousands. The number climbing. You stupid girl. Vincent's hand tightened on her arm, bruising. She's her mother's daughter. Dante's voice was steel. Smarter than both of us. Vincent's gun came up, pointed at Riley's head. End the stream or I paint the walls with her. Do it. Riley's voice didn't shake. I'm already dead anyway, right? Like my mom. Like my brother. Another acceptable loss. Riley, no. Dante stepped forward. Shoot me, and everyone watching sees you murder your own niece on camera. Riley stared into her uncle's eyes. Or let me go and maybe you get a lawyer who can spin this. Your choice. Vincent's hand trembled. For the first time, Riley saw fear in his eyes. The FBI is already on the way, Dante said quietly. I called them before I walked in. You have maybe 3 minutes. The warehouse doors exploded inward. Black SUVs, armed agents, shouting. Vincent's men dropped their weapons, hands up. Vincent himself stood frozen, guns still pointed at Riley's head. It's over. Riley's voice was soft. You don't get to hurt anyone else. Vincent's laugh was broken. You really think this changes anything? I have lawyers. Money. This city is mine. Had. An FBI agent stepped forward, a woman in a sharp black pantsuit. Vincent Chen, you're under arrest for bribery, corruption, 14 counts of manslaughter, and about 100 building code violations. They cuffed him. Led him away. He didn't look at Riley once. Agents cut Liz free. She stumbled to Dante, sobbing into his shoulder. Riley stood apart, watching them. Family reunited. Happy ending for them. Riley. Dante extracted himself from his sister, walked over. You okay? My mom knew. The words felt like glass in her throat. She tipped him off about the building. She's part of why they died. She didn't know what he'd do with the information. Does that matter? Riley's eyes burned. She still did it. For money. Dante's hand found hers. We're all trying to survive. Sometimes we make choices that haunt us. Is that supposed to make me feel better? No. It's supposed to make you feel less alone. Riley looked at their joined hands. His palm was warm, solid. Real. What happens now? She asked. Now the FBI builds a case. Vincent goes to trial. Probably gets 20 years if his lawyers can't worm him out of it. Dante's thumb traced circles on her skin. And you get to decide if you want to testify. Do you? Every single day until he's behind bars. Riley nodded slowly. The adrenaline was fading, leaving her hollow and exhausted. I need to get out of here. Where will you go? I don't know. Away from this city. Away from everything. Dante squeezed her hand. Can I ask you something first? What? Do you believe in second chances now? Riley studied his face. The shadows under his eyes. The guilt carved into every line. The way he'd walked into certain death to save his sister, to save her. I believe in people trying, she said finally. I believe that counts for something. Is it enough? I don't know yet. Dante nodded. Pulled out a card, pressed it into her hand. When you figure it out, call me. If you want. Riley pocketed it. Turned to walk away. Riley. She stopped. Didn't turn around. Your mom made a mistake. But she loved you. That part was real. Riley's eyes filled. How do you know? Because she told me. The day I met her to discuss the building, she showed me your photo. Told me you were going to art school. That you were going to be something special. Dante's voice cracked. That's why I remember your face. Because she wouldn't stop talking about you. Riley let the tears fall. I hate that this is how I find that out. I know. I'm sorry. She walked out of the warehouse into harsh sunlight. Behind her, agents swarmed, evidence bags multiplied, justice ground forward like a slow machine. 6 months later, Riley stood in a small gallery in Portland. Her first show. Photos of her brother, her mom, the building before it fell. Beauty and loss woven together. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. But she knew who it was. The trial ended today. Guilty on all counts. 25 years, no parole. Riley closed her eyes. How do you feel? Empty. Relieved. Still guilty. Dante's voice was rough. You. The same. Silence on the line. Your show is beautiful, Dante said. I'm standing in front of it right now. Riley spun. Across the gallery, in a dark jacket and jeans, holding a cup of coffee, stood Dante. Older. Quieter. Still broken, but maybe healing. Their eyes met. I told you I didn't know if I could forgive you, Riley said into the phone. I remember. I still don't know. But I think I want to try. Dante smiled. Sad, hopeful, real. That's more than I deserve. Riley walked toward him. Past photos of grief, through a crowd of strangers, to this man who'd destroyed her world and helped her rebuild it. We're both pretty messed up, she said. Catastrophically. This probably won't work. Definitely won't. Riley took his hand. Want to fail together? Dante's fingers tightened on hers. More than anything. Outside, the city hummed with life. People making choices, making mistakes, making amends. The world kept turning, indifferent and beautiful and broken. But here, in this moment, 2 damaged people chose to try. And sometimes that's all second chances are. A choice to try. The end.